What's up, all you guys, gals, Muslim haters, and Dagestani haters? Welcome back to my channel. I know I haven't really been posting much recently because honestly, I just couldn't be bothered half the time. Like, I'm literally making this video 2 days before the fucking fight while I'm waiting for wrestling class to start because I kind of need to work on my wrestling. You guys saw my last fight. But anyway, I'm going to be making my predictions for UFC 319, Duplessis versus Chimaev. Biggest fight of the year, probably. I mean, we've had some fights this year that were kind of hype, like Pereira Ankalaev. We had Oliveira versus Ilya, and fuck, it's kind of sad to think this might be all we're getting. I mean, we're getting Islam versus fucking JDM, mate. But yeah, other than that, this really hasn't been a big year for fights. But honestly, I'm looking at this card, and it's actually pretty stacked. But without wasting any more time fucking bullshitting around, I'm going to break down the card. I'll start with all the prelims and all that, and then break down the main card, and then I'll get to the main event. So anyway, starting with the early prelims, we've got two flyweights I don't care about, so my prediction is I don't care. Next, we have women's MMA. Disgusting. Get it off the main. Get it off. Get it out. Just get rid of it. Cast it into the fire. Destroy it. Anyway, next we have Brian Battle at middleweight against Nursultan Rizaboven. And this is, to be honest, I don't know that much about the other guy. I'm going to be totally honest. I don't watch every single fight, but I don't know. I am going to lean with Brian Battle on this one. I do think it's going to be a tough fight, but I do trust in him to get the win. Next, we have Edson Barboza versus Drakkar Klose. And I'm going to go with my boy Edson on this. I think he's just going to crafty vet his way to a win, as Lucas Tracy would say. And honestly, I think he should retire here. I mean, he's 39. He's had a long career. It's pretty clear he's not going to be a champion. He was one of my favorite fighters when I first started watching the sport, so it'd be nice to see him go out on a win. Then we go to the prelims. We have Chase Hooper versus Alexander Hernandez. Come on, when are we going to give Chase Hooper an actual test? I'm going to go with Chase Hooper to beat Alexander Hernandez by submission. I mean, Hernandez was a good prospect 6 fucking years ago until he fought Cowboy. Probably even longer than that, 7 years ago. So yeah, I think Chase Hooper will make easy work out of this. Next, we have more women's MMA. Disgusting. Next, we have that Bushinga, whatever his fucking name is, this Chechen guy who was on the Contender Series 3 days ago, who's Hamzat's boy. Yeah, I think he's going to win as well. The guy who he's fighting, Eric Nolan, I've never heard of him. Bushinga, whatever his fucking name is, he's undefeated. He's looking real promising. He trains with Hamzat. He's Chechen. He's been training with that whole Jackson team or whatever. So I think this will be an easy win for him. Next, we have the GOAT, Gerald Meerschaert versus Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. I'm going to go with Oleksiejczuk on this one, just because Meerschaert's kind of chinny. But, yeah. Starting with the main card. Come on. I'm not going to waste too much time on this one. I'm going with Kai Asakura by probably a finish. I mean, I could maybe see it going to a decision, but Tim Elliott hasn't fought in nearly 2 years. He's 39 at flyweight. I know Kai Asakura did get his ass beat in his last fight by Pantoja, but he's 31. He's got some time left, and I still think he's good enough to at least be a top 10 fighter. I don't think he's going to become a champion. I still think he loses to a lot of the top guys. Obviously, he just lost to Pantoja. I think he loses to Moreno. He loses to Royval. He loses to Van. He's already lost to Manel Cap, and honestly, I think he loses to him again. So he loses to most of the top guys, but I think he can get past Tim Elliott and then become a top 10 guy in the flyweight division. Tim Elliott should probably just call it after this. But yeah, I'm going Kai Asakura by 3rd round TKO. Next on the main card, we have Jared Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page. And again, I think we're all on the same page as this one. I'm going to go with MVP to win by a 29-28 or a 30-27 decision. I think this is going to be a pretty uneventful fight. When the fight was first announced, I was intrigued. But then when I started thinking about it, I thought, MVP's faster. He's a bit more skilled. He knows how to pick his shots. He's longer. He's got good range. I think it'll be similar to the Adesanya fight, with Cannonier, where he kind of just backs away and doesn't really engage. And then MVP kind of just picks his shots, just picks at him at range, and wins pretty one-sided decision. Unless Cannonier decides to mix it up and wrestle, which I don't think he will, I honestly think he's going to get outclassed in this fight. I was going to say schooled, but I wouldn't exactly call a lackluster point-fest decision being schooled. It's a good fight on paper, but don't be surprised if this one turns out to be a snoozer. So yeah, I got MVP by 30-27 decision. Moving on to the featured fight of the card, we have Jeff Neal versus everyone's favorite, CP. And yeah, CP will be winning this weekend. CP rules, CP on top, CP is back. Yeah, I think Carlos Prates is going to beat Jeff Neal. I do think it's going to be a tough fight. Like, I don't think this is going to be easy for Carlos Prates because, I mean, his boxing defense is a little bit like, he was getting tagged by Trevin Giles. I know I tried to cope a bit in the lead up to the Ian Gary fight by saying, oh, it's not an issue, but yeah, it was, turns out. But yeah, I do think Jeff Neal can give him some problems in the boxing, especially at long range, but I do think Carlos Prates has enough power. He's good enough, and his striking is like, he's got a good enough, big enough arsenal to where I think he can beat Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal does kind of struggle with the longer, rangier fighters as well, so there is that. Not to mention, Carlos Prates does have a fuck ton of power. I do think he might rock Jeff Neal, maybe even drop him. He could get a knockout, but I do think this fight's more than likely going to be decision. And I think either this or the main event will likely end up being fight of the night. Like, I do think this is going to be a really good fight. But, yeah, I'm going with Carlos Prates by, I'm going to say 29-28 decision. CP supremacy. Moving on to the co-main event, we've got Aaron Murphy, bruv, versus Aaron Pico. And honestly, I feel like this is a bit like the main event where it's kind of 50-50, but I feel like there's going to be a definitive winner. Like, I feel like whoever wins this fight, we're going to look stupid if we picked against them. But, I'm going to go with Lerone Murphy on this one. Now, I've contemplated picking Aaron Pico because on paper, Aaron Pico is very promising. Like, he's got a very good skill set, like the MMA Guru pointed out. I can't remember who. I think it was the MMA Guru. Like, he's a very good wrestler. He's got very good boxing, knockout power. But at the same time, he's very low level. Like, he's never even been in a title fight, or I don't even think he's ranked in Bellator. Like, yikes. If even champions like Patchy Mix came over and they couldn't even win, and they were champions and defending champions, or even Pitbull, I don't know. I don't know about Aaron Pico. I mean, Lerone Murphy is probably a better matchup for him than Movzar. Like, I don't think he was going to beat Movzar at all. I thought Movzar was going to win a pretty comfortable decision. Maybe give him some trouble early on, but as the fight went on, Movzar would get his groove on. But yeah, I think it might be, I think this fight could be a bit more competitive. Like, I don't think he's going to look totally shit like Patchy Mix did. I mean, he could, we don't know, but I think Lerone Murphy's going to play it safe. He's going to stick on the outside. He's going to just pick at him at range, and Leon Edwards maxes his way to a decision. I don't know. I think another problem with Aaron Pico is, like a lot of people have pointed out, if plan A doesn't work, he doesn't really have a plan B. Like, he's not really a fighter that grits through adversity. And on top of that, he hasn't beaten anyone. Like, he's pretty much just fighting all these cans of Bellator, whereas Lerone Murphy has beaten, like, UFC top-level fighters. Like, I know his resume is not the greatest, but it's definitely 1,000 times better than Aaron Pico's. So, yeah. I'm going to go with Lerone Murphy to win by, I kept thinking this was a 5-round fight. It's a 3-rounder. Yeah, I'm going to say a 29-28. I do think Aaron Pico will have moments. Like, I do think he'll clip him at some point, but I think Lerone Murphy's going to stay on the outside, do what he does, and win a comfortable decision. Last but most certainly not least, we have the main event. And I'm picking Khamzat Chimaev by first round sub. I'm just fucking with you guys. I'm picking DDP by fucking gaslighting. I don't care what any of you say. Dricus du Plessis is getting this dub. I know it's a 50-50 fight. I know it could go either way, and I really won't be that surprised if Khamzat wins. But I'm going with my gut. I'm going with Dricus du Plessis. I do think he's going to get mauled badly in the first round, like always. But I don't know. I just think he's going to cockroach his way out of the first round. I do think the second round will be kind of where the tide starts to turn a bit. But I think come round 3, come round 4, Dricus is really going to start to pour it on Khamzat. And we saw it with the Gilbert Burns fight, and even with the Usman fight, he was starting to break just a bit, like in those, sorry, I just had to put my keys and shit down. He was starting to, like, you know, break a bit in those later rounds, and Gilbert Burns was cracking him. Even Usman was tagging him up with the jab. So I feel like that, sorry, I'm just unpacking my shit. Yeah. I feel like if Dricus can take it to those later rounds, he's got better striking than Usman and Gilbert Burns, and a fuck ton more power. He's bigger, he's stronger. I know lighter man skill is kind of a thing, but come on. Gilbert and Usman are really better strikers than someone like Dricus, who's outstruck some of the best strikers in his division. Like, I know lighter man skill's a real thing, as Lucas Tracy would say, but come on, that's pushing it a bit to say that they're better strikers. But yeah, I'm going with Dricus. I do think he's still going to get taken down. Like, Hamzat is definitely going to take him down at some point. He's probably going to have him in bad positions. Might even get close to a sub, but Dricus is tough, man. Like, even if Dricus does get submitted, he's not going to tap. Like, he's probably going to go to sleep. Unless it's like his arm or something. And even then, Hamzat could break his arm, which, oof, wouldn't be good. But, no, I feel like Dricus is going to be strong enough to be able to survive a lot of these bad submissions and these bad positions. I feel like he's going to be able to, like, bring it into the championship rounds where Hamzat's never been. He has been in 5-round fights like with Rob Whittaker and Kevin Holland, but Whittaker's kind of bullyable, and Kevin Holland, come on. Like, just don't. Do not compare Kevin Holland to Dricus. So, yeah. I'm going to go with Dricus du Plessis by, I'm going to say TKO in round 4. Like, I think he's just going to, as Hamzat starts to slow down, he's just going to start pouring it on him and he will break him. A little bit like Robert Whittaker, kind of. Like how he just broke him down once he got him hurt. I can see something like that happening. Or even like Adesanya, where, like, again, as the fight went on, Adesanya kind of slowed a bit and he just started wearing on him eventually. And yeah. So anyways, that's my picks for today. Like, subscribe, hashtag all hail the Marlon. I mean, I couldn't even be bothered doing my typical outro because, you know, I'm in a rush to get this video out. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios, niggas.